so focused on something new, for example, the origin of Pennyworth, that they're afraid to go back to just a simple show about Batman because everybody's seen Batman. No, let's make the story about his butler. Like, no, just make a compelling story about Batman.
Honestly, what kills me is just the title of it, like the suffix, the origin of Batman's butler. Like that, that's just
That's
so
fair,
like,
yeah. Well, because then it goes even further to show that like at least Gotham was trying to separate itself from Batman. That's just straight up like this is Batman's side fella.
Batman's, but dude, it's literally that joke in the Teen Titans Go to the Movies film where it's like Alfred gets a movie before Robin does. That's literally what that is. That's insane. You know,
Pretty much.
even though I would like to see a show in the Reeves verse, like the Penguin show, about a young Alfred.
Mhm.
They probably won't do that because they have this Pennyworth show, but that I think that would be kind of cool. Like seeing him in British intelligence, kind of like Kingsman a bit, but it's
Yeah.
Alfred and shit. That'd be dope.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, get Taron Egerton. He's a young
As
Alfred.
a young Pennyworth.
Yeah, it's the origin of the Batman's butler.
I could see it. I could see it. There's a lot of heart, I think, in that character.
Oh yeah, it's Alfred.
Carries it in the what was it the comic that I was reading today. Funny enough, I read it all the time, but I was reading it today to keep my memory fresh. But Alfred
Which
played
one?
a pretty good role. The deceased one,
Oh,
or
oh shit.
no,
This is
you asked,
I
but
did ask. Well,
yeah, no, there's so much you can do with that character.
he's the man. And speaking of which, I want to bring up a book that just came out, okay? And I recommend this to everybody who kind of wants just a fresh start on their comic book lore, and especially specifically their Batman lore. And I got this past week the first issue of Absolute Batman right here.
Ooh, very nice, my friend. Ooh, I have not seen the cover for it yet. I've heard everything about it, but damn, that's nice. He is
Yeah, man.
looking like I don't want to mess with him. Man just clocked out of his 9 to 5 and wants his beer and kickback. That's
Honestly, that's probably the case with this Batman. I mean, first of all, look how it's like if you cast The Rock as Batman. You know what I mean? Like this is a big Batman right here. Um,
you know
it's-
who comes to mind? Did you ever see the sequel to Kick-Ass?
yeah.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage's character. Well, no, sorry, not Nicolas Cage's character.
Oh, Jim
But yeah, no,
Carrey.
it was no, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sort of mixing both because Nicolas Cage's character was very Batman-like, but Jim Carrey's was very if you've seen another movie, James Gunn movie, the one with that the Dwight where he plays the hero.
Oh, super, super.
Yeah. He's sort of like the Jim Carrey's character. I'm sorry, I'm referencing several. Is a mixture of that character from Super and like the first the father figure from part one.
Yeah,
And it's
Big
like that's
Daddy.
that in that Batman cover is just like a darker, more aggressive Batman.
Well, this is a part of DC's new All-In initiative where the very very quick premise of it is that Darkseid in the main continuity has supposedly died, and since he's a multiversal constant, he is rebirthed in a new universe, the Absolute Universe, which is a dark parallel to the main continuity, where it's essentially a world in the vision of Darkseid, and they released a special where it kind of talks, gets specifically into it. But Absolute Batman is like the first canon book in this, and they're releasing Absolute Wonder Woman and Absolute Superman soon. Um, but this issue, it kicks ass. It's dope as hell, Andrew. I will let you read it. I know you said you know a little bit about it and everything, but I'll let you read this because this is a
It
really
would be
dope book. What was that?
Sorry, I said if you would be so kind. Yeah, you
Oh,
down?
absolutely. You will play the absolute Batman.
What? What is that supposed to mean? You want me to? I'm already working my 9 to 5. You gotta be kidding me.
You gotta be kidding me, bro. This Batman is not only bulkier, he is blue collar. He's a plebeian, as philosophers might refer to him. And he's kind of someone who's struggling still with the death of his father. I'm not going to spoil too much of the book and everything because I want you to read it, Andrew. But um, what first of all, what do you think when you see Batman looking like this?
Again, like I said, the first thing that comes to mind is that amalgamation of those three characters. And the reason why those characters come to mind is because in those respective universes, things are a little bit more fucked up, you know? Things
Yeah,
are a little bit less, they pull less punches. And that is what I get from that image right there. I don't know what the stories are going to entail. If you're giving me the preface that it's a dark side favored universe, then I think the feeling that I'm getting from that image alone is already in the right track. You know, there's a certain not not doom or like distraughtness looking at it, but there's a certain like I need that Batman to survive in this world. Like
yeah.
the other Batman, yeah, he could save me here, but that looks like the guy I need. The more like this is his park, you know?
Yeah, yeah, he's like Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
Like the Charles Bronson kind of Batman, where he's like an avenging he's just like he's brutal, like he's a brawler. And the art
I
in this
mean,
book is by Nick Ragota. It's beautiful. You're gonna love that. Scott
I have a,
Snyder is
I
who
have a
is the writer on
question though.
this. Yes,
I
sir.
have one question. Um, so you've read it, yes?
Yes.
How much of Bruce Wayne is present in this comic as opposed to Batman, would you say?
How much Bruce? Oh, that's a good. It's definitely, I think, more Batman
Right.
because well, the character we follow through the issue is Alfred, actually.
Mhm.
And Alfred is a very different version of Alfred here in that he's actually on a mission. He's an assassin sent into Gotham to take out Batman, or not take out Batman specifically, but to if Batman's in the way, his agency, whoever it might be, want Pennyworth to gather uh information on this Batman person. And so it's essentially Alfred hunting Batman. So when we see Bruce, we see him in a new kind of light, where
Mhm.
I feel like he's much more vulnerable than
Mhm.
how we usually see Bruce depicted, which is interesting because he's so much bigger, and physically imposing.
I mean, it's almost like he needs to be to survive in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like that's clear like that physicality is clearly him wanting to protect what little he has left in his life. I'm not going to say what that is or who that might be, but he is very much he's young. I think he's like 25 or something, and he's a young Batman. He's brutal. He doesn't kill, but he does some pretty insane stuff with like it's almost like an anime how he does his thing, with his he uses his cape as the weapon, you know? You're gonna love it.
Ooh. Well, the reason why I ask is because yeah, I guess often people are focused on the hero over the person, and part of the reason why I enjoyed Batman's comics so much is because of Bruce. You know, like yeah, he is the Batman, or Bruce Wayne is the mask. You know, but that was my big fascination in college was social psychology, and Batman is one of the biggest examples, especially his rogues gallery, of the lengths psychology and sociopathy will go in people. And so part of me wonders what the different Bruce Wayne will be like in this universe. Because the Batman is just a reaction to the universe. It's always has been in each of his universes. So I wonder if they're gonna dive dive into his character a little more, and if they're gonna where they're gonna stray, because a lot of what made Bruce Batman was his psychology, you know.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
wonder if they're
I
just like,
agree.
well, they're just gonna keep that up. If they're gonna point to different reasons, point to different sources for his change, perhaps. That's what I'm curious about.
Well, I think in this issue there is an answer to your question. I certainly don't want to say what it is, um,
Mhm.
because it's a really cool reveal and a very cool flip on the whole um Batman mythos. I mean, this is very much akin to the Ultimate Universe from Marvel, started in the early 2000s, where it's meant to bring updated new versions of these characters, except that in this case I think it's more drastic, the changes with the DC characters so far. With I've only read Batman and everything, but more or less Spider-Man was still Spider-Man, the Avengers were the Ultimates, but they were kind of still the Avengers and everything. With this is such a heel turn and so interesting, in terms of an interpretation. I love it. I love it. I'm sure at some point they'll do like a absolute Green Arrow, Green Lantern and stuff. I hope at least, because this new universe has some potential. But right now it's just those three that I know of, and I'm very excited.
Okay.
I, I waited like an hour before the comic store opened to get a copy, an issue of #1 for Absolute Batman. So I'm gonna have to do the same.
Dedication, brother.
It's dedication. That's some scary ass dedication. I should have picked a second one up for Justin.
I'm
Because I
sure he
asked him
got
if
his
he
hands
had
on
it.
one.
I hope so, because those things sold out. Those things
Really?
did business, man. You know.